As Abdullah said, I've been with the advisory council for 6 or 7 years, and the reason that I joined and have been a passionate supporter remains probably more relevant today than even 6, 7 years ago when I started out. To have the president, vice chancellor, to have the senior leadership of TMU there joining in this joint sense of where we're going, what is the mission of entrepreneurs everywhere, is incredibly important, because as we all know, the headwinds that we're facing economically in particular have got every single red light flashing. I don't need to tell any of you about the costs of doing business over the last couple of years, and the predictions that we all receive and that we think we can understand go out the window in next to no time. We thought coming out of the pandemic, if indeed we are, there was a chance that we would have an opportunity to see real easy economic growth, and it's gone completely the other way. We look at inflation, those numbers globally, but also in Canada. If we look at interest rates, we look at mortgages, we look at confidence within the business community, it's tough. But the one thing that everyone in the room has is the desire and the ability to solve the world's problems, to come together and create alternatives through that disruption and to force new change. The system for many people doesn't work anymore. The idea that institutions are responsive or that there are easy fixes in a globalized environment show that that's just not the case. That's why the DMZ years ago decided to be local and also global, to connect the world's best brains and the people with the can-do attitude to actually offer up an alternative to what the system seems to be creaking at the very seams to deliver. In Ontario, the population is fundamentally changing. The total number of people who have left Ontario in the last quarter to live somewhere else in Canada is the largest net migration of a quarter since 1948. At the same time, the total number of people coming to Ontario from outside of Canada was the greatest single number in a quarter since 1971. That is fundamental reform. That's revolution. It's people acting with their feet, and it's people domestically trying to find a more affordable way to live, working from home, and internationally, it's people coming in with wealth and creating a new home. The DMZ, I think, is situated perfectly to help to build those small businesses that are the absolute lifeblood of this country with the very best of ideas, and to create jobs that will allow people to make their homes in the cities and the towns of Ontario that they want to be in. The pandemic taught us a couple of things. Digital acquisition, very expensive. It's increasingly expensive, and there's no sign that we've reached the ceiling on that. The disruption to venture capitals, the lack of confidence in offering up money, valuation changes, but also the supply chain. These are fundamental questions that I think, again, many of you who have successfully launched and those of you who are in the DMZ network now have a chance to work together to fix. Take blood supply, for example. The DMZ has worked with organizations to build drones, build businesses that can supply the blood by air quickly to accidents, to hospitals, to get out of the road blockage and the gridlock. The opportunity to create an improved supply chain for grocery stores so that food inflation, which is hitting a 41-year high today, can be reduced. Those margins in grocery stores are already small. Any efficiency that can be delivered at the back end, where I know actively the DMZ is working in the incubation side of things, is going to make a difference. It's going to improve the opportunities for people. I couldn't have thought when I began 7 years ago with the DMZ and working with Abdullah and the team that we would see the growth that we have seen. It's very real, and it's very important to the Globe and Mail that we are seen to be a part of the community and that we're offering solutions, that we're being constructive, that we're offering advice and opening doors where we can through our own individual networks. But I want to highlight just a couple of things that have gone on within the DMZ that I think are probably salutary lessons for other incubators who look with tremendous envy. And you see that with the overseas visitors that come through the DMZ. It's not just working in the small in Innisfil and Niagara Falls and regionally, and then gigantically in New York City or in Cairo or in Jordan. It's also about saying that diversity has always been front and center of the DMZ through the BIPOC support that we offer, the Black Entrepreneurs Program, the Women Founders Stream, and also now the Newcomers Program, where we can galvanize that fresh intellectual capital is coming into the marketplace. We can work with financial services that already employ something like close to 20% of all jobs in the GTA. And we can say to those big towers, we actually have a solution that you've been trying to figure out and you haven't been able to do it yourselves. The opportunities are only beginning, I think. I am so proud of my association personally, but also for the Globe and Mail as a national news organization determined to try and knit the country together, to use its convening power, to have shared experiences, and to offer up ways in which we can make the country better is the DNA of the Globe. And I know from the last 7 years, that has been exactly what it is for the DMZ. So on behalf of the Advisory Council, a really great dedicated team of people with superb experience in all different walks of life, it's been an absolute blessing. I wish I could have been with you in person. I know I'm interrupting the beer, and that from a journalistic point of view is perhaps the original sin. So I'll say bon voyage to you all. I wish you the very best for the rest of the evening. And I look forward to seeing you next June as we bring everyone together, having built on the experience of Elevate. We're going to see everyone next June at Collision, and it is going to be a remarkable time these next 7 or 8 months as we teach the rest of the country how to solve the world's problems. Best of luck and thanks for everything.